Hello everyone, and welcome to Fluent English Journey. I am really happy and excited that you are here with me today. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me. Time is very valuable, and I truly appreciate that you chose to join me to listen, learn, and practice English today. It means a lot that you are here, and I am happy to share this moment with you. In this episode, we are going to talk about something that every single person in the world experiences. This is something real, human, and very important for all of us. The topic for today is pain. Yes, pain. Pain is something that nobody can avoid. No matter how old you are, where you come from, what language you speak, or what kind of life you have, pain touches everyone. Every person experiences it at some point in life. Pain can be small. It can be something like a small disappointment, a mistake we made, or a moment when things did not go the way we wanted. But pain can also be very strong. Sometimes it comes from losing someone we love, failing at something very important, or going through a very hard situation. Pain does not always feel good. Most of the time, it feels uncomfortable, unpleasant, or even frightening. But today, I want us to look at pain in a different way. Instead of seeing pain only as something bad, we can try to see it as something that can teach us lessons, help us grow, and make us stronger. When life is easy and everything feels comfortable, it is normal to relax and enjoy things. Comfort is good, but when life is too comfortable, we often stop thinking deeply. We stop asking important questions about ourselves. We may not notice what is missing in our life, what we want, or what we could improve. When life is smooth and easy, we may stay in the same place. Our minds and hearts may not grow much. But pain changes that. Pain makes us pause. It makes us stop and think. When something hurts us, whether it is sadness, disappointment, confusion, or loss, we start to look inside ourselves. Pain asks questions that comfort never asks. Questions like, why do I feel this way? What is missing in my life? What do I really want? What do I need to change to feel happier or better? These are very important questions. Pain gives us the chance to ask them. Pain teaches us lessons that a life without challenges cannot teach. Pain helps us see what is truly important, what we really care about, and who we really are. Pain also helps us grow stronger. When we face difficulties, we learn how to handle them. We learn patience, courage, and problem-solving. Pain teaches resilience, which is the ability to keep going even when life is hard. Pain can give us wisdom because we begin to understand life better. Through painful experiences, we notice what matters most. We learn how to value the good things in our life. Pain guides us to become better, wiser, and more aware. Pain is not just something negative, it can be a teacher. Every moment of sadness, loss, or confusion carries a message. If we listen carefully, we can use it to grow, improve, and find our true path in life. Today, let us try to see pain in a new way. Pain is not just bad. It is a tool for learning and growth. It can show us what we need to change, what we value most, and how we can become stronger and wiser. Life is full of challenges, but each challenge carries a lesson. That lesson can guide us to live a life that is more meaningful, more conscious, and more fulfilling. Pain, as difficult as it may seem, is part of life, and it can teach us some of the most important lessons we will ever learn. Hello again, everyone. Today, I am speaking not only as a podcast host, but also as a human being just like you. I experience pain too. I have hard days. I have moments when life feels very heavy, confusing, or tiring. I know how difficult those moments can be. And I want you to know something very important. You are not alone. No matter what you are going through, someone else has been there too. Everyone faces moments when life feels too heavy, when the heart feels exhausted, or when things do not seem fair. Sometimes we ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? Or why does life feel so unfair? These questions are normal. Life can be confusing and painful. It is okay to feel upset, tired, or overwhelmed. But here is an important truth. Pain is not here to destroy us. Pain is not our enemy. Pain is a teacher. Pain is here to help us learn something important. Pain shows us who we really are, who we can become, and what really matters in life. In this episode, I want to gently walk with you through this idea. Together, we will explore what pain really is, why it teaches us so much, and how we can learn from pain in a healthy, calm, and peaceful way. My goal is to help you understand life better while also giving you a chance to practice your English in a simple and easy way. By the end of this episode, I hope you feel stronger, calmer, and more connected to your own life journey. Now, let's talk about what pain really is. When we hear the word pain, many people think only about physical pain. For example, when we hurt our hand, when we fall, or when we get sick. Physical pain is easy to see and understand because it comes from the body. But pain is not only physical. Pain can also happen inside us. Sometimes, this kind of pain is even harder to deal with. Emotional pain is when something hurts our feelings. Emotional pain can happen when someone we love leaves us, when someone says something hurtful, or when we feel lonely, rejected, or unimportant. Emotional pain is real, and it can feel very heavy in our hearts. Pain can also be mental. Mental pain happens when our thoughts feel heavy, stressful, or confusing. It is the kind of pain that makes our mind tired, worried, or restless. So, as you can see, pain is not just one thing. Pain comes in many forms. But in every form, pain has a lesson to teach us. Pain can help us grow, understand ourselves, and live life more fully. Sometimes, pain comes from our thoughts. This is called mental pain. Mental pain happens when we worry too much, feel confused, or feel tired because our mind is full. Our thoughts can feel heavy, and it can become hard to think clearly or make decisions. Mental pain can make life feel overwhelming. When our mind is full, we may feel stressed, frustrated, or unsure about what to do next. Pain can also come from life situations. These are challenges, problems, or experiences that make life difficult. For example, it could be losing a friend, struggling at school, having a fight with family, or facing changes we do not want. Life sometimes gives us situations that are not easy. These situations can bring both emotional pain and mental pain. Emotional pain comes from our feelings, and mental pain comes from our thoughts. Even though these experiences are hard and unpleasant, they often teach us lessons that we cannot learn in any other way. Pain, in all its forms, physical, emotional, mental, or situational, is a natural part of being human. Everyone experiences it. Everyone will face it at some point in life. What is most important is how we respond to pain. We can let pain control us, or we can let it guide us and help us grow. When we approach pain with patience, understanding, and calmness, we can turn even the hardest moments into opportunities. Opportunities to learn about ourselves, our strength, and what really matters in life. So today, I invite you to look at pain in a new way. Instead of being afraid of it or trying to avoid it, let's see it as a teacher and a guide. Pain can help us understand our feelings, our thoughts, and the situations in our life more clearly. Pain can help us become stronger, wiser, and more aware of ourselves and the world around us. Life will always have challenges. But each challenge, each moment of pain, carries a lesson if we are ready to listen and learn. Sometimes, pain comes from situations that make us feel scared, lost, or unsure about the future. These are moments when we do not know what to do next. The uncertainty itself creates pain. This kind of pain is not always visible to others. People around us may not see it. They may not understand what we are going through. But even if it is invisible, this pain is real. It can affect our thoughts, emotions, and even our health. Just like physical pain, pain is not just a random feeling. Pain is a message. It is like a signal inside us trying to tell us something important. Emotional or mental pain usually means that something in our life needs attention. Maybe we need to grow as a person. Maybe we need to change something in our life. Maybe we need to understand ourselves more deeply. Pain is like a quiet voice inside saying, "Please notice this. This is important." When we learn to listen to that voice, pain can become one of our greatest teachers. Pain is not comfortable. It does not feel nice, and we often want to avoid it. But even though it is unpleasant, it helps us notice what truly matters. Pain shows us where we need to focus. It points out the parts of our life that need care, attention, or change. This is true not only for big problems, but also for small, everyday situations. For example, imagine failing a test. Failing a test hurts. You may feel embarrassed, frustrated, or disappointed. You may think, "I am not smart enough," or "I will never do well." But this pain is not telling you that you are bad or weak. It is trying to teach you a lesson. It is showing you that something needs your attention. Maybe you need a better way to study. Maybe you need more time to prepare. Maybe you need to focus more while learning. Even a small pain, like failing a test, can guide you to improve and learn something valuable. Another example is losing a friend. Losing a friend can be very painful and touch the heart deeply. Sometimes we lose friends because we move far away. Sometimes we lose them because of misunderstandings. Sometimes we just grow apart as life changes. Losing a friend can make us feel sad, lonely, and confused. But even this pain has something to teach us. It teaches us the value of connection, the importance of communication, and that relationships need care and attention. Pain helps us grow emotionally. Pain is a teacher that comes in many forms. It is not always easy to see, and it is not always comfortable to feel. But if we listen carefully, pain can help us understand ourselves better. Pain can guide us to make better choices and grow as people. It helps us notice the small details in life that we might otherwise ignore. Pain can guide us toward actions that improve our life, strengthen our relationships, and build our character. Even when life seems unfair or confusing, pain carries important lessons. It asks us to pause, reflect, and learn. So the next time you feel pain, whether big or small, physical or emotional, remember this: pain is not just a problem. It is a guide, a signal, and a teacher. Pain is trying to help you notice what matters, learn from your experiences, and grow into a stronger, wiser, and more aware person. Life will always have challenges, but each painful experience can bring important lessons if we are willing to listen. Sometimes, pain teaches us through the people around us. Losing a friend or having a fight with someone we care about can show us how important relationships are. Pain can help us appreciate the people who stay with us and support us through life's ups and downs. But pain does not always come from other people. Sometimes we feel pain even when we are alone. Nothing bad may have happened. No one has hurt us. But loneliness itself can hurt. Sometimes pain comes from loneliness. Loneliness can make us question ourselves. It can make us wonder about our place in the world. We may ask questions like, "Why am I here?" or "Do I belong?" These feelings are normal, even if they are uncomfortable or sad. Feeling lonely does not mean there is something wrong with us. It is part of being human. Even loneliness can guide us. It can help us understand ourselves better. It can teach us how to take care of our emotions and how to build stronger, healthier relationships. Loneliness can encourage us to reach out to others, connect more deeply, and appreciate the people who care about us. It can help us improve the relationships we already have and form new, meaningful connections. Another source of pain is making mistakes. When we make mistakes, we often feel upset, frustrated, or disappointed in ourselves. We may feel regret, embarrassment, or even shame. But mistakes are very powerful teachers. They show us what went wrong and help us see what we need to fix. Mistakes teach us how to do better next time. Without the discomfort and pain that comes from mistakes, we would never learn or improve. We might stay in the same place forever. Pain from mistakes guides us, helps us grow, and pushes us to try again. When we talk about pain, we are talking about much more than just physical pain. Pain is natural and important in life. Pain speaks to us. Pain guides us. Pain helps us grow. Pain is not here to punish us or break us. Pain is here to teach us, to help us understand ourselves and our lives more deeply. Now that we understand what pain is and the many forms it can take, emotional, mental, situational, from loneliness or from mistakes, let us take the next step. Let's look at why pain teaches us more than comfort ever can. When life is easy and comfortable, we usually stay the same. Comfort feels safe and nice, but it can also make us lazy or unaware of the world around us. Comfort does not push us to think deeply about our choices. It does not make us question our habits or consider whether we are improving as people. Life moves, changes, and challenges us constantly. Comfort can make us forget that because it feels easy. Pain, however, is very different. Pain wakes us up. Pain shakes us. Pain makes us slow down and pay attention. When something hurts, whether it is failure, loss, loneliness, or a mistake, we suddenly notice and reflect. Pain makes us ask important questions. Why did this happen? What can I do better next time? What do I really want? What matters most to me? Pain forces us to think. Pain makes us look inside ourselves. Pain challenges us to grow. It pushes us to improve, learn, and understand life more deeply. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but pain gives long-term growth. Pain teaches lessons that comfort cannot teach. Pain encourages us to explore who we are, to question our life choices, and to find meaning in our experiences. In this way, pain is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher, a guide, and a messenger. Pain helps us see what we need to change, what we need to learn, and how we can become stronger, wiser, and more aware. Life will always have challenges. But if we pay attention to the lessons pain gives us, we can grow through every difficulty and become the best version of ourselves. When something painful happens, it makes us ask important questions. Why did this happen? What can I learn from this? What should I do next? How can I avoid this pain in the future? Pain pushes us to grow in ways comfort never can. It makes us stop, think, and reflect. Pain helps us notice things about ourselves and our life that we might otherwise ignore. For example, imagine a student who fails a test. At first, the failure hurts. The student may feel embarrassed, disappointed, or even angry. They may think, I am not smart enough, or I will never succeed. But this pain, while uncomfortable, does something very important. It wakes the student up. Suddenly, the student cares more. They start to study harder, try new methods, focus better, and prepare differently. The pain of failure becomes a reason to improve. Without that discomfort, the student might continue the same habits over and over, never changing or growing. Pain forces us to look at our life, examine our choices, and make the necessary changes. Another reason pain teaches more than comfort is that pain makes us stronger. Every time we face a difficult situation and survive it, we discover a new kind of strength inside ourselves. It is like lifting heavy weights at the gym. At first, the weight feels too heavy, our muscles hurt, and we want to stop. But as we continue, our muscles grow stronger. In the same way, emotional and mental pain builds our inner strength. Each challenge, each moment of struggle, makes us a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for life. Pain does not feel good. It is uncomfortable and can feel overwhelming at times. But pain also helps us pay attention to what truly matters. It guides us to see the areas in our life that need improvement, care, or understanding. Pain is not always about big problems. Pain shows up in small, everyday situations too. For example, failing a test, losing a friend, making a mistake, feeling lonely, or facing a difficult situation all create pain. Each of these moments has a lesson. Pain encourages us to pause, reflect, and ask questions. Pain helps us understand ourselves better, shows us where to improve, and pushes us to become stronger and wiser. Comfort can feel safe, but comfort does not force us to change, learn, or grow. Pain does. So the next time you feel hurt, frustrated, or sad, remember this. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a teacher, a guide, and a signal. Pain is showing you where to focus, where to learn, and how to grow. It wakes you up, makes you stronger, and teaches lessons that comfort never can. Pain may be uncomfortable, but it is also one of the most powerful tools for learning, growth, and becoming the best version of yourself. Pain is a very powerful guide in life. Every time we feel pain, it gives us a chance to learn, grow, and discover more about ourselves. Life will always have challenges, but each painful experience, whether big or small, helps us become a better, stronger, and wiser version of ourselves. Pain is not something that comes to punish us. It is not here to break us. Instead, it is a signal, a teacher, and a guide. Pain shows us where to look, what to focus on, and what we need to improve in our lives. Even small events, like losing a friend, can teach us important lessons. Sometimes friends leave because we move far away. Sometimes misunderstandings create distance. Sometimes life simply changes and people grow apart. Losing a friend can touch our hearts deeply. It can make us feel sad, lonely, or disappointed. But even this kind of pain teaches us something valuable. It teaches us the importance of connection, the need for communication, and the value of the people who stay by our side. Sometimes, pain comes even when we are alone. Nothing bad may have happened, and no one has hurt us, but loneliness itself can be painful. Loneliness can make us question ourselves. It can make us wonder about our place in the world. Thoughts like, do I belong or am I enough, may appear. These feelings can be uncomfortable, but they also guide us. Loneliness can help us understand ourselves better. It can teach us to take care of our emotions and to build stronger relationships in the future. It can encourage us to connect with others more deeply and appreciate the people who care about us. Another source of pain is making mistakes. When we make mistakes, we often feel upset, frustrated, or regretful. We may feel embarrassed or doubt ourselves. But mistakes are powerful teachers. They show us what went wrong and guide us toward what we need to fix. Mistakes tell us what we can try again or do differently next time. Without the discomfort and pain that comes from mistakes, we would never learn, grow, or improve. Pain from mistakes is a chance to grow and become better. When we talk about pain, we are talking about much more than physical pain. Pain is a natural and important part of life. Pain speaks to us, teaches us, and helps us grow. Pain is not here to punish us or break us, it is here to guide us. It invites us to understand ourselves more deeply and focus on what really matters. Now that we understand what pain is and why it appears in so many forms, emotional, mental, situational, loneliness, mistakes, or loss, let's explore why pain teaches us more than comfort ever can. When life is easy and comfortable, we often stay the same. Comfort feels safe, warm, and pleasant. We enjoy it, and there is nothing wrong with that. But comfort can also make us lazy, sleepy, or unaware. Comfort does not push us to think deeply about our choices. It does not encourage us to ask questions about our life or habits. Comfort does not make us reflect on whether we are improving or growing as a person. Life keeps moving, changing, and challenging us. Comfort can make us forget that. Pain is very different. Pain wakes us up. Pain shakes us. Pain slows us down and makes us notice things we might otherwise ignore. When we feel pain, we start asking important questions. Why did this happen? What can I learn from this? What should I do next? How can I avoid this pain in the future? Pain forces us to look at our life and think about the changes we need to make. It encourages growth, learning, and self-awareness in ways that comfort never can. When life feels easy, we often stay the same. We don't think deeply about our choices. We don't question our habits. We don't stop to ask ourselves if we are growing or improving. Comfort feels good. It feels safe. But comfort can also make us sleepy. It can make us forget that life is always moving, always changing, and always teaching lessons. Pain is different. Pain wakes us up. Pain shakes us. Pain slows us down and makes us pay attention. When something hurts, whether failure, loss, loneliness, or disappointment, we suddenly notice. We start asking important questions. Pain pushes us to grow in ways comfort never can. For example, imagine a student who fails a test. At first, the failure feels painful. The student may feel embarrassed, disappointed, or even angry. They might think, I am not good enough, or I will never succeed. But this pain also does something very powerful. It wakes the student up. Suddenly, they care more. They start to study harder, try new methods, focus better, and prepare differently. The pain of failure becomes a reason for future success. Without this discomfort, the student might continue the same habits over and over, never improving. Pain forces us to reflect, examine our choices, and make changes. Another reason pain teaches more than comfort is that pain makes us stronger. Every time we face something difficult and survive it, we discover a new kind of strength inside ourselves. It is similar to lifting heavy weights at the gym. At first, the weight feels too heavy. Your muscles ache. You feel weak and want to stop. But as you continue, your muscles grow stronger. In the same way, emotional and mental pain builds our inner strength. Each difficult experience, failure, sadness, loss, or challenge makes us a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for life. At first, the pain may feel unbearable. We may feel tired, frustrated, or even hopeless. But over time, something changes. The experience shapes us. We become more resilient. We learn to handle challenges better. We grow in ways we could not imagine when life felt easy and comfortable. Pain is not comfortable. It does not feel nice. But it teaches lessons that comfort never can. Comfort may feel safe, but it does not push us to grow. Pain forces us to reflect, change, and improve. Pain is very powerful. It makes us notice what is truly important. Pain helps us understand ourselves better, discover our strengths, and prepare for the challenges that life will bring in the future. Life will always give us difficulties. But each painful moment carries a special opportunity, an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger than we were before. Pain is not our enemy. Pain is a teacher, a guide, and a signal. It tells us where to focus, what to improve, and how to grow. Just like lifting heavy weights at the gym makes our muscles stronger, the pain we experience in life makes our hearts and minds stronger. Pain may feel very hard in the moment, but in the long run, it helps us become wiser, braver, and better prepared to handle whatever life brings. Pain can feel very heavy. Emotional pain works in a way that is very similar to lifting weights. When we experience loss, rejection, disappointment, or confusion, it can feel very difficult. It can feel heavy in our hearts and minds. It can feel painful and overwhelming. But when we face that pain and move through it, something inside us grows. We begin to build emotional strength. We build our inner emotional muscles. Pain teaches us how to stay calm during hard moments. It teaches us how to get back up after we fall. It teaches us how to keep moving forward even when life feels unfair, confusing, or heavy. Comfort cannot build this kind of strength. Only pain can. Pain also helps us understand what truly matters in life. When life is easy and smooth, it is easy to get distracted. We spend time and energy on things that do not give us real happiness. We may chase after goals, things, or achievements that seem important, but are not truly meaningful. But when pain enters our life, it removes the noise. It makes life quieter. It helps us see things clearly. Pain shows us what is real. For example, when we get sick, we suddenly understand how important health is. When someone we love is far away or leaves, we realize how precious time and connection are. When we feel stressed, tired, or lost, we learn the value of peace and calm. Pain clears our vision. It teaches us to appreciate the simple and meaningful things in life, things we often forget or take for granted. One of the most beautiful lessons that pain teaches is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and feel what other people are going through. When we have suffered ourselves, our hearts become softer. We become gentler with others. We stop judging people so quickly. We begin to understand that everyone is fighting their own battles, even if we cannot see them. Pain teaches us kindness, patience, and care. Once we have felt pain, we know how deeply it can hurt. And that understanding helps us treat others more gently. Pain helps us see life in a new way. It builds our strength, clarifies what is important, and teaches us to connect with others in a deeper, more meaningful way. It shows us that life is not only about comfort or ease, it is about learning, growing, and understanding ourselves and the world around us. Pain may feel difficult in the moment, but it is one of life's greatest teachers. It reminds us of the value of love, care, peace, and connection. Pain does not only hurt, it also teaches. People who have suffered, even a little, often become wiser and more compassionate. They understand life better and treat others with more kindness. When we look closely at pain, we see that it is not only negative. Yes, pain is uncomfortable. Yes, it can feel heavy and difficult. But pain also brings knowledge, growth, and strength. Pain shapes us into better human beings. It wakes us up, builds us, guides us, and opens our hearts to the world around us. Now that we understand these ideas, let's look at a simple emotional story, a story that shows how pain can change a person's life in a real and meaningful way. Let me tell you about a young man named Daniel. Daniel was quiet and hopeful. He dreamed of building a better life. He worked hard in school and tried to be kind to everyone around him. He believed that if he did everything right, life would go smoothly. But as we all know, life does not always follow our plans. One year, Daniel entered a painful season of his life, a season that changed him deeply. It began with failure. Daniel applied for a job he really wanted. He prepared for weeks and practiced every day. He believed he had a real chance. But when the results came, his heart sank. He did not get the job. Someone else was chosen. Daniel felt broken inside. He felt like all his hard work had been wasted. He felt embarrassed and deeply disappointed. For several days, he did not want to talk to anyone. He did not want to try again. His thoughts became heavy, filled with doubt. Maybe I am not good enough, he thought. This painful moment made him question himself deeply. Not long after that, Daniel faced another kind of pain, heartbreak. He had been in a relationship with someone he cared about deeply. At first, everything felt good. But slowly, things began to change. They started to drift apart. Misunderstandings happened. Communication became harder. Eventually, the relationship ended. Daniel felt lonely, sad, and confused. His heart ached. He wondered why life could be so unfair. These experiences were very painful. Daniel could have stayed sad, angry, or hopeless. But slowly, he began to understand something important. Pain was not just there to hurt him. Pain was teaching him lessons. The failure at work taught him resilience, how to try again and not give up. The heartbreak taught him empathy, patience, and self-awareness. It showed him what he truly valued in relationships and in life. Daniel began to see that each painful moment was guiding him. Pain forced him to reflect, to grow, and to understand himself more deeply. He learned to care for his emotional health, to stay strong during hard times, and to focus on what truly mattered. Over time, Daniel became stronger, wiser, and more prepared for life. His story shows us how pain can change a person's life in a real and meaningful way. Pain is uncomfortable, yes, but it is also very powerful. It teaches us lessons that comfort never can. It builds emotional strength, shapes our character, and opens our hearts. Pain is not our enemy. Pain is a guide, a teacher, and a signal pointing us toward growth and meaning. Daniel's relationship began to change slowly. He and his partner started to argue more often. They stopped understanding each other. Little by little, they grew apart. One day, she told Daniel that she wanted to end the relationship. In that moment, Daniel felt empty. It was as if a piece of his heart was missing. That night, he cried alone in his room. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking painful questions. Why do people leave? Did I do something wrong? Is something wrong with me? The pain did not disappear quickly. It stayed with him like a quiet shadow following him everywhere. During this difficult time, Daniel also felt fear. He feared the future. He feared failing again. He feared losing more people he cared about. Every day felt heavy. Every morning felt like a challenge. He woke up with questions and went to sleep with even more. When he looked at his life, he felt lost. It seemed like he was moving backward instead of forward. This fear was also a kind of pain, the pain of not knowing what would happen next. Even during these hard and painful moments, something important was happening inside Daniel. At first, he did not notice it. Pain often teaches quietly, slowly, and gently. Over time, Daniel began to reflect on his life. He looked honestly at himself. He looked honestly at his choices. He realized that failing the job interview was not the end of the world. It was a lesson. The failure pushed him to examine his skills and see what he needed to improve. This made him more focused, more disciplined, and more determined. He worked harder, not to prove anything to anyone else, but because he truly wanted to grow. Heartbreak also taught Daniel a powerful lesson. He realized that love is not always about holding on. Sometimes love is about letting go. It taught him that he deserved someone who understood him, supported him, and accepted him for who he truly was. Pain showed him that relationships require respect, understanding, and care. Through failure and heartbreak, Daniel began to grow emotionally and mentally. He discovered that pain could be a teacher, a guide, and a signal. It made him more aware of his strengths and weaknesses. It helped him become stronger inside. He learned patience, self-reflection, and empathy. He began to understand that life is not about avoiding pain, it is about learning from it. Slowly, Daniel noticed that he was changing. He was calmer. He was wiser. He was more thoughtful. He understood that life's challenges were not punishments, but lessons. Pain had shaped him. It had opened his heart to new possibilities. It had helped him see what was truly important: growth, understanding, and connection. Daniel's story shows us that pain, while difficult, can transform a person's life. It pushes us to grow, teaches us to understand ourselves, strengthens our character, and prepares us for the future. Life will always bring challenges, but each moment of suffering carries a lesson, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Pain is not our enemy. It is a guide leading us toward a meaningful and fulfilling life. Through all his struggles, Daniel learned something very important. Pain taught him how to protect his heart while still keeping it open. Because of his experiences, he became more understanding of others. He noticed when friends were hurting. He listened more carefully. He became gentler, kinder, and more patient. Pain had opened his heart to the world around him. The fear he once felt also taught him a valuable lesson. It showed him that he was stronger than he believed. Every day, he woke up and continued living his life, even when it was hard, even when he felt tired or unsure. With each step, he discovered something new about his own courage. Slowly, fear lost some of its power. Daniel realized that fear could exist, and yet he could still move forward. Little by little, Daniel began to change. Pain had softened his heart, but it had also strengthened his spirit. He became wiser because he understood struggle. He became kinder because he knew how heavy life could feel. He became more focused because he remembered the importance of his dreams. This painful season did not destroy Daniel, it shaped him. It shaped him into a stronger, better version of himself. A few months later, Daniel applied for another job. This time, he was more prepared. He was calmer. He was more confident. And this time, he got the job. Not because life had become easier, but because pain had prepared him. Pain had given him clarity. Pain had given him strength. Pain had given him patience. When Daniel looked back, he understood something very important. The pain he experienced was not there to break him. It was there to build him. And even though he never wanted to feel that pain again, he felt grateful for the lessons it taught him. Daniel's story reminds us of something powerful. Pain changes us, but not in a bad way. Pain teaches us. Pain guides us. Pain opens our hearts and shapes us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate people. Now, let's move forward together and see the practical lessons that pain can teach us in everyday life. Pain is not only an emotional experience, it is also a teacher. It offers guidance, growth, and understanding if we choose to learn from it. For example, pain teaches us patience. When we feel pain, we often want everything to change immediately. We want the problem to disappear. We want the sadness to end. We want life to feel normal again. But pain teaches us that change takes time. Healing takes time. Think about learning something new, like English. You cannot become fluent in just 1 week. You learn step by step, day by day. Some days you feel confident. Other days you feel confused or lost. But the slow and steady process is what brings real improvement. Pain works the same way. It teaches us to breathe, wait, and trust the process. Good things grow quietly and patiently. Pain also teaches resilience. Resilience is the ability to stand up again after falling. When we face difficult moments, we often feel weak at first. Maybe we fail a job interview. Maybe we get a low score on a test. Maybe we feel nervous speaking in public. In these moments, pain appears. But when we try again, something inside us changes. Each time we rise after a fall, our inner strength grows. Pain shows us that we are stronger than we think. It shows us that even when life pushes us down, we can get up again. We may get up slowly or with fear, but we do get up, and that is resilience. Pain also teaches us that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Just like lifting weights makes muscles stronger, emotional and mental challenges make us stronger inside. Every difficult moment, every disappointment, And every challenge is a chance to practice patience, courage, and resilience. Pain reminds us that even small steps forward count. Every time we keep going, even when it is hard, we grow stronger. Pain teaches self-awareness too. Self-awareness means understanding ourselves better. Pain makes us stop and look inside. It makes us ask important questions. Who am I? What do I really want? What do I need to change? When life is comfortable, we rarely ask these questions. We follow routines without thinking deeply. But pain pushes us to explore our thoughts, feelings, and habits. It shows us parts of ourselves we often ignore. Maybe we discover that we need healthier boundaries. Maybe we realize that we deserve better treatment from others. Maybe we see that we need to grow in confidence, discipline, or patience. Pain opens the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves. Another beautiful lesson that pain teaches is gratitude. After going through hard times, simple things in life feel special again. A normal, peaceful day feels meaningful. A short message from a friend feels warm. A walk outside feels healing. Even a quiet moment at home feels comforting. Pain helps us appreciate things we often took for granted. When we lose something important, like our health, our time, or someone we love, we understand how valuable these things truly are. And when life becomes calm again, we feel thankful in a deeper and more honest way. Pain teaches us to see the world with new eyes. Pain also teaches responsibility. When something goes wrong, it is easy to blame others, life, or circumstances. But pain shows us an important truth. Real change begins with ourselves. Pain encourages us to ask, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? How can I grow from this experience? When we accept responsibility, we stop feeling like victims. We begin to feel stronger. We begin to feel more in control of our lives. We learn that even in difficult situations, we have the power to make choices that improve our future. Through these lessons, patience, resilience, self-awareness, gratitude, and responsibility, pain becomes more than a negative feeling. Pain becomes a guide. It teaches us how to live more consciously. It teaches us how to value what is truly important. It teaches us how to respond to challenges instead of just reacting. Pain helps us grow into wiser, calmer, and more thoughtful people. In life, we will always face pain. But if we are willing to look carefully and reflect, pain will teach us lessons that comfort never can. It shows us who we are, what we truly value, and how we can become the best version of ourselves. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is a quiet teacher. It guides us step by step. It helps us grow stronger, kinder, and more aware of the world around us. Life shows us that we cannot control everything. We cannot stop bad things from happening. We cannot always control other people. But there is something we can control: our actions, our attitude, and our choices. Pain teaches us this important truth. It shows us to take responsibility for our own life instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" We begin to ask, what can I do to improve my situation? This lesson is not easy. It takes courage to accept that we cannot control everything. But it is one of the most important steps toward personal growth and maturity. Pain brings other gifts too: patience, resilience, self-awareness, gratitude, and responsibility. These gifts are not comfortable, but they are powerful. They help us grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. They help us understand ourselves and others better. When we see pain this way, we realize that even difficult moments have meaning. Now, let us explore how to understand pain in a healthier and more peaceful way. Many people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. They run from it. They hide from it. They try to ignore it. But the truth is simple: pain is not our enemy. Pain is not here to destroy or punish us. Pain is a natural part of being human. It is a feeling that tells us something important is happening in our life. When we stop fighting pain and start listening to it, everything begins to change. Pain is a message. It is like a quiet guide that appears during the most difficult moments of our life. Pain does not speak with words, but it speaks through feelings. When we feel sad, confused, disappointed, or afraid, pain is trying to tell us something. Maybe it is telling us to slow down. Maybe it is telling us to change direction. Maybe it is telling us that something in our life needs attention. Understanding pain is different from suffering. Suffering happens when we resist what is happening. We get stuck in sadness, anger, or fear. Understanding pain means we accept it as a teacher. We observe it, reflect on it, and ask, what is this pain trying to show me? Every difficult feeling is a signal. It invites us to grow, to reflect, and to make better choices. When we pay attention to pain in this way, we become calmer and more confident. Pain also helps us slow down and notice the present moment. Life moves quickly, and sometimes we do not see what is happening around us. Pain makes us stop and pay attention. It reminds us to value our health, our relationships, and our own thoughts and feelings. In short, pain is not a punishment. It is a guide. It is a teacher. It shows us what matters. It invites us to grow. It gives us a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Sometimes pain tells us that something or someone is not good for our peace. Pain speaks to us, but we must be willing to listen. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask a new, powerful question: what is this pain trying to teach me? This simple question can change everything. It opens the door to growth. It helps us become calmer. It helps us see the situation more clearly. For example, if someone disappoints us, the pain may teach us about boundaries, trust, or self-respect. If we fail at something, the pain may teach us about preparation, patience, or discipline. If we feel lonely, the pain may guide us to build stronger relationships or understand ourselves better. When we look at pain this way, it becomes less frightening. We stop seeing it as something we must escape. Instead, we begin to see it as a teacher walking beside us, showing us where we need to grow. This does not mean pain feels good. It does not mean we enjoy it. But it does mean we can respect it, learn from it, and move through it with courage. Seeing pain differently can also bring us peace. When we fight pain, we create more stress inside ourselves. We feel angry, frustrated, or hopeless. But when we accept that pain is a natural part of life, we relax a little. We breathe more deeply. We feel less pressure. We understand that feeling pain does not make us weak, it makes us human. Every human being experiences some kind of pain. Knowing this can make us feel less alone. Understanding pain also helps us grow into kinder and wiser people. When we accept our own pain, we become more patient with others. We understand something very important. Everyone has a story. Everyone has scars. Everyone is doing their best even when it does not look like it. This understanding makes us gentler. It helps us treat others with care and compassion. Pain teaches us empathy. It teaches us to listen, to forgive, and to act with kindness. When we start to see pain as a guide instead of an enemy, our life changes. We start to notice lessons in everyday challenges. We see opportunities for growth in moments that once felt only hurtful. Pain becomes a companion, not a threat. Walking with pain, how to learn and grow. Pain is not here to break us. It is here to guide us, teach us, and help us grow. When we accept pain with courage and patience, we gain clarity. We understand our life better. We see what truly matters. We feel more in control of how we respond to difficult situations. Learning from pain does not make life free of difficulties, but it helps us face challenges with wisdom, strength, and a calm heart. It teaches us to live fully, even when life is hard. It helps us become people who can face the world with courage, compassion, and understanding. Pain can even help us connect more deeply with others and build stronger relationships. The next time you feel pain, emotional, mental, or spiritual, pause for a moment. Sit with the feeling. Take a slow, deep breath. Then ask yourself gently, what is this pain trying to teach me? You may be surprised by the answer. Pain can open doors that comfort never will. Steps to learn from pain. 1. Slow down and breathe. When pain comes, our body reacts quickly. Our heart beats faster. Breathing becomes shallow. Our mind fills with racing thoughts. This makes everything feel heavier. Stop for a moment. Take slow, deep breaths. Focus on the present. Even just 5 deep breaths can calm your mind and body, making it easier to face the pain. 2. Name the pain. Give your feelings words. Say, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel lost, I feel afraid. Naming the emotion makes it real and manageable. It moves the feeling from a heavy cloud in your mind to something you can understand. Naming pain does not make it stronger, it makes it smaller and easier to carry. 3. Talk to someone you trust. Pain feels heavier when carried alone. Sharing with a friend, family member, or mentor can bring relief. You don't always need advice, sometimes just speaking is enough. Others can offer support, perspective, or a listening ear. Talking reminds us that we are not alone. 4. Reflect on the lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What changes might help me move forward? Reflection turns pain into opportunity. It helps us understand ourselves better, make wiser choices, and approach life with strength and clarity. 5. Take small practical steps forward. Pain often asks us to act, whether it is to repair a relationship, improve a skill, care for ourselves better. The steps do not need to be big. Tiny actions matter. Write down your feelings. Make a small plan. Reach out for help. Over time, these small steps transform pain into growth, learning, and strength. Extra tools for healing. Connect with others. You don't have to face pain alone. A trusted friend, family member, or counselor can help you feel lighter. Sharing your story clarifies your thoughts and reduces confusion. Writing. Writing moves feelings from your heart onto the page, organizes thoughts, and reveals patterns and emotions. Can be a journal, a list, or a letter to yourself. Even a few lines a day create a map of your healing journey. Start small. Don't try to fix everything at once. Choose one small thing today. A short walk. Sending a message to a friend. Reading a page of a book. Sitting quietly with a warm drink. Each small step sends a message to your mind. I am moving forward. I am learning. I am growing. Pain is not easy. It can feel heavy, uncomfortable, and overwhelming. But when we face it with patience, courage, and care, it becomes a teacher, a guide, and a companion. It helps us live with more wisdom, strength, compassion, and clarity. Moving forward through pain. You can move forward. Even if it feels slow, every small step matters. Over time, small actions become big changes. Healing is not a race. There is no finish line. Give yourself time. Sometimes pain makes life feel heavy or confusing. Sometimes it makes us feel stuck. Even then, small steps matter. They remind us we have control over some parts of our life. Each day brings a new opportunity to grow, care for ourselves, and move forward. Healing is about gentle progress, not perfection. Steps to transform pain. Slow down and breathe. Pain often triggers fast heartbeats, short breaths, and racing thoughts. Stop. Take slow, deep breaths. Focus on the present. Even 5 deep breaths can help calm your mind and body. Name your feelings. Say, I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel lost. Naming the emotion makes it real and manageable. It turns a heavy, cloudy feeling into something you can understand. Talk to someone you trust. Sharing your feelings with a friend, family member, or mentor lightens the burden. You don't need advice, sometimes listening is enough. Talking reminds you that you are not alone. Write down your thoughts. Journaling moves emotions from your heart onto the page. It helps you see patterns, organize your thoughts, and reflect on what you're learning. Even a few lines a day make a difference. Take one small action. Pain often asks us to act. Tiny actions matter. A short walk, a kind message, reading a page of a book, or simply sitting quietly with a warm drink. Each step reminds your mind and heart, I am moving forward. I am learning. I am growing. Gentle truths about healing. Healing takes time. Some days you feel better, other days worse. This is normal. Don't compare your healing to others. Everyone moves at their own pace. Be kind to yourself. Pain can bring a harsh inner voice, saying, you should be stronger. You failed. Speak instead as a kind friend would, I am doing my best. It's okay to feel this way. I will try again tomorrow. Small acts of self-care, resting, listening to music, having a warm drink, build comfort and resilience. What pain teaches us? Strength, getting up even when you don't feel like it, trying again after failing, facing the day despite heaviness. Strength can be quiet and gentle. Patience. Growth does not happen overnight. Healing is slow, step by step. Awareness. Pain helps us see what matters, our loved ones, our own care, and lessons we cannot learn in comfort. Courage and empathy. Pain teaches us to face challenges bravely and see the world with kinder eyes. Pain does not last forever, but the lessons it gives last a lifetime. Each day you survive, each step you take, you are learning and growing. One day you will look back and see how far you've come. You will recognize your courage, resilience, and patience. You will see how each hard moment shaped you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. A final thought. The strongest people are often those who have faced the hardest challenges. Life was not easy for them, but each difficulty taught them to stand again. Pain opens the way to depth, wisdom, and compassion. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, gentle, and persistent. And you have it. The quiet power of pain. No one becomes strong by accident. Strength grows through experiences, mistakes, tears, confusion, and growth. Even if you cannot see it clearly right now, especially on days when you feel tired, lonely, or unsure, remember this. You are not alone. Many people in the world have felt what you are feeling. Many are healing alongside you. And many have already gone through it and reached the other side. They are quietly cheering for you. They are hoping you continue. Pain connects us. It is a bridge that reminds us how much we share as humans. Somewhere in the world, someone understands what you are feeling even if they do not know your name. So be gentle with yourself. Take comfort in this soft truth. Even in the dark moments, you are growing. The pain will pass and the lessons will stay. You will come out of this chapter wiser, softer, and stronger. Give yourself time. Give yourself patience. Your story is still unfolding and brighter days are on the way. Pain as a teacher. Pain is not only something we survive, it is a teacher. It teaches truth when we feel confused. It teaches strength when we feel weak. It teaches patience when we want everything to change at once. It teaches us to see life clearly and appreciate the little things we often take for granted. It teaches courage, resilience, and understanding. It teaches kindness and empathy, both for ourselves and for others. Every tear, disappointment, and moment of loneliness shapes you. Every hard day helps you grow. Pain is not a punishment, it is a guide. It shows you where to focus, how to care for yourself, and what truly matters. And in time, you will see that the pain has made you stronger. You have survived. You have learned. You have grown. And you will continue to move forward. Small steps, gentle strength. Breathe. Take slow, deep breaths to calm your mind and body. Take small steps. You do not need to fix everything at once. Even tiny actions, walking, sending a message, reading a page of a book, sitting quietly matter. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same care you would offer a good friend. I am doing my best. It's okay to feel this way. I will try again tomorrow. Reflect on your journey. Think about past struggles that helped you grow stronger, wiser, or kinder. Honor those lessons. They are part of your story. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. Sometimes it is gentle. It is getting out of bed when you do not feel like it. It is taking a deep breath and facing the day even when it feels heavy. It is trying again after failing. That is real strength, and you have it. A reminder of your progress. Even if it feels slow, you are moving forward. Each day you practice, reflect, or try again, you are growing stronger, wiser, and kinder. Pain does not last forever, but the lessons it teaches last a lifetime. Others have felt what you feel now. Others have grown through the same struggles. And just like them, you too are growing, learning, and becoming stronger. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep growing. Keep moving forward. Your heart and mind are expanding with every experience, and that is something truly special. Step by step, episode by episode, you are learning more about yourself as you continue your English journey. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep learning. These episodes are here to support you, to guide you, and to give you motivation and clarity when you need it most. You do not need to be perfect, you only need to keep going. Every small step matters. Every time you listen, every time you repeat a sentence, every time you understand something new, it all adds up. These small steps are helping you grow. Trust yourself. You are doing better than you think. Wherever you are listening from, whatever challenges you face in life, know this: you are not alone. You are learning, you are growing, you are healing, and every day you are becoming a better version of yourself. Take a moment to notice your progress. Even if it feels slow, even if it feels small, you are moving forward. Each moment of effort is building something important inside you. Each time you keep going, even when life feels hard, you are showing courage, patience, and the quiet strength that comes from facing challenges without giving up. Remember, growth does not happen all at once. It happens gradually over time, just like learning English. Some days you may feel confident. Other days you may feel tired or unsure. That is normal. Keep practicing, keep reflecting, and keep moving forward. Every effort counts. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself permission to rest when you need it. Take a slow, deep breath. Notice the small successes. Celebrate the little wins. Even small progress is still progress. You are learning, growing, and improving, and that is something to be proud of. Your story is still unfolding. You are not finished yet. There are more lessons, more experiences, more growth waiting for you. Each step you take brings you closer to a stronger, wiser, and more understanding version of yourself. Thank yourself for listening. Thank yourself for practicing. Thank yourself for giving your heart and mind the chance to grow. Every moment you spend learning, every moment you spend reflecting, every step you take forward, it all matters. You are building a life of courage, kindness, and understanding. Keep moving forward, my friend. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep facing life with patience and hope. Your story is yours, and it is beautiful. The pain, the lessons, the struggles, and the small victories, they are all part of it. They are shaping you. They are helping you become the person you are meant to be. And always remember, you are not alone. Many people are learning, growing, and healing alongside you. You are part of a shared human journey. Step by step, day by day, you are moving forward. The lessons will stay, the growth will stay, and brighter days are on their way.